Today I'm going to put together and test out the Thule ski snowboard rack for a hitch carrier on Green Neighbor. Now, Thule doesn't make this ski rack. It's actually manufactured by Thule. But Thule charges $430 for this rack, whereas Thule at the moment charges $372, which is a pretty good deal. You can order this rack right off of Thule's online store. It comes with a handy-dandy set of instructions and 2 bags of parts, as well as 3 cross braces, one with the Thule logo on it. There are 2 main pieces of the frame, and it comes with 2 keys because this is a lockable ski rack. And those 2 bags of parts have all these parts in them. So the first thing you have to do when setting up this ski rack is figure out how to connect the 2 sides of the ski rack together. In order to do that, you're going to follow step 1, and you're going to use part J, the bottom cross tube, to connect the 2 sides of the frame. You will lock that in using part F, and you will need the included Allen key in order to tighten that part. You will lock that into part G, the M6 locking nut, and you will insert that locking nut into a hexagon-shaped hole in the frame. I then just repeated that same process with the other side of the ski rack. I found it a little easier to stand the rack up on its end, tighten that up with the included Allen key, and you start to see this rack come together. Now, right about here is when I noticed that I did something slightly out of order. I connected the bottom cross tube before I should have. So I wasn't sure whether these top cross tubes would go in very easily after the fact, but I discovered that this works just fine. It was really easy to connect these 2 cross tubes, even though the bottom tube was already connected. I think my way is a little better. I should point out that they want you to have the Thule logo facing outward on the top cross tube that is furthest away from the bottom cross tube. Now you're going to use part E, which is 4 M685 Allen bolts to fasten those cross tubes to the frame. Now here's the first little thing you might want to look out for. I found those bolts wouldn't slide through, and then I realized that this part of the frame can slide around. So you just need to align that so that the bolts will go all the way through. And there it goes. So tightening up those bolts really wasn't a problem. You just needed to use that Allen key, and it was really simple. And then the rack was pretty solid, but the instructions do say once you have everything together to go over all the bolts again and tighten them up. And I found after I did that, it was really solid. So the last thing we have to do in order to put this ski rack together is attach these end caps with these 2 little screws. Now they make the point here that there's a correct way that these end caps go on, and there is an incorrect way. And really, it all boils down to this. There's a particular end cap for a particular side of the ski rack. So if you put the wrong end cap on the wrong side, it will face the wrong way. So if it's facing down, you just need to switch the end caps so that the hole lines up in a manner that has the end caps facing inward. So there you go, the rack is now together, and it's looking pretty good, but you can't just attach this ski rack to a trailer hitch. No, you will need a bike rack. It could be the Thule bike rack, or quite frankly, any other bike rack. In my case, I have the Thule bike rack, so I'll just set that up. If you'd like to learn more about this rack, I will put a link above to a more comprehensive video on this rack. So now it's time to attach the ski rack to the bike rack. And that's simple enough, really. It's a matter of 2 bolts and 4 bike ties. You just clamp the bike rack between this bracket and the ski rack. But here is where I ran into my one and only snafu, and that is that this hole right here wasn't big enough to slide the bolt through. As you can see, the bolt can go through the other hole, but not this one. Now, I reasoned out that it was unlikely that Thule stamped this metal bracket incorrectly. I figured it was probably just the rubber coating, and fortunately that was the case. So it was easy enough to clear that out of there. Once I had that done, we just used these parts to bolt the ski rack to the bike rack. As you can see, the space between these two bolts is pretty wide so as to accommodate a great variety of bike racks. Now right here you'll see that I am screwing on the wing knobs onto these bolts. I should point out that those bolts are Allen bolts, so you need the Allen key to hold those bolts still while you tighten those wing knobs. Now step 4 of the instructions actually points out that you might see a gap here between the ski rack and the bike rack. But that's okay, because once we clamp it down with these bike ties, that ski rack is going to be good and solid. And there you go, the ski rack is really solid. Yes, there's flex in the bike rack, and there needs to be, but the ski rack assembly is really firmly attached to the bike rack. That is looking nice. I mean, look at that thing. That's like James Bond kind of ski rack stuff. That's what I expect to see James Bond cruising around in Monaco with assassins and spies chasing him down. Which reminds me, this is a locking ski rack. So if you want to keep those skis safe from spies and assassins, then it's really easy to lock your skis into this rack. You just click it closed, turn the key, and you won't be able to press in that white button or release the mounting arm. Okay, let's do this. So mounting the skis in the rack is actually pretty simple, especially if you're just mounting one set of skis. You just line up the skis so that no part of the binding is in between the mounting arm and the frame of the ski rack. Now, if you're loading more than one set of skis by yourself, well, things can get a little awkward. Because you have to hold more than one set of skis, and you have to hold them at just the right height so that no part of the bindings are in between the mounting arm and the frame of the ski rack. And if there's any part of those bindings at all in between, then you just won't be able to close that mounting arm properly. When you've done it right, you'll hear a definite click. And there you go. As you can see, even on children's skis, there is enough space between the top and the bottom bindings to allow the mounting arm to close nicely. And on an adult ski, there is plenty of room. Now you might be wondering, how many skis can this ski rack hold? Well, we have 3 sets of skis in our family, and I was able to easily fit them on one side. The ski rack has 2 sides, so it's safe to say it can accommodate 6 sets of skis. You might also be wondering, what do you do if you want to access the rear of your vehicle? Well, the Tesla bike rack is a tilt-down bike rack. So you can just tilt the whole assembly down, get into the rear of your vehicle, and tilt the assembly back up. It's just that simple. You might also be wondering, why not just carry your skis inside your car? Well, you can do that in the 6-seat configuration of the Model X, but if you do that, you will have to fold down those rear seats, turning your 6-seater into a 4-seater. Time for Random Thoughts. The Tesla bike rack comes with 2 keys, and I'm going to suggest you keep one of those keys and the Allen key somewhere inside your car. I might suggest the center cubby drawer by Raincar. I'll put a link above. When you go to back up, this rack assembly will obstruct your view, and the rear sensors of your vehicle will think there's something right behind you, and so they will beep the entire time. The ski rack assembly is a pretty big unit, so I hope you've got some extra space in your garage. Finally, I'd love to know why I have so many parts left over. All in all, I really like the Tesla ski rack. It's easy to set up, it's easy to use, it looks great, and it allows us to use the full 6 seats in our Model X, allowing more people to spend time together and enjoy the adventure.